24, driving business.
Well, a very good morning, Uganda. Good morning, everyone that has just tuned in to Smart 24 TV, your business channel. When you want business, information, education, Smart Men's Business is here. And of course, my name is Masika Tsime, going to take you all the way to 9:55 a.m. And of course, just to remind you, from Monday to Friday, of course, we are always here to give you updated, to discuss different topics and anyway relating to our environment, relating to our country, relating to Africa and what is happening globally. And of course, don't forget that today actually is a Tuesday. Yesterday was a good day for some people, and of course there were showers of rain and people got to be like, oh, they really had a full loaded weekend. But anyway, welcome back. And of course, hoping that you're on your way already, ready to start your day. Good morning, Goodwin.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Mercy, and good morning, Smart Men's Business viewers. I hope you're having a lovely morning. You know, I was shocked this morning as I was on the road. I was stuck in jam, and I was thinking, why am I stuck in jam and I'm so early? And I realized, oh, it's not a public holiday. Yesterday I was at work. Oh, yeah. You see, that's a luxury that you guys have, because when you're on the news does not take a break. It has to be on because it doesn't sleep. So we're always here to entertain you with the best Smart Men's business information and business news. I bet there's going to be a lot of jam today since people are going back into work.
There is a lot of traffic that is going to take place compared to yesterday when it was a public holiday. But regardless, don't forget that our conversations are proudly brought to you by Zavo. And of course, today is a Tuesday and it's not a public holiday like yesterday, so Zavo is going to be operational today. So all you can do is reach out to them if you dial *292#, and that is the USSD code. You can learn about the products, you can go straight to the bones, you can buy, you can sell. You know, there is a lot with Zabo that you can learn from. Anyway, but they tell you investment is as low as 15,000 Ghana shillings. You can choose to invest 15,000 shillings or more, depending on how much you want to have your returns in. So there are maturity periods. They're from 0 to 2 years till 20 years. So depending on also how long you want your money to mature, it is all dependent on you. But today being Tuesday, from 8:15 a.m. till 3:15 p.m., Zabo is going to be fully operational from Monday to Friday, except for public holidays and weekends. And of course, they are powered by Alltex East Africa, telling you to do something new. And of course, Zabo says, my money, my future. Talking of money, anyway, Godwin, bring us to our day's topic. We're going to be looking at how we can manage financial liabilities. I know coincidentally yesterday, I was moving back home and someone was like, lately people have loans, a lot of loans, and of course they go picking loans from different places, from the bank, from the money lenders, from the Kasa Koyoka group where you save money. So there is a lot that we can learn from today's topic.
It's a very interesting topic, right? It's one that's near and dear to my heart, especially considering the conversation we had yesterday about the youth unemployment and why we're struggling and why Uganda isn't developing. The state of Uganda, yesterday being Independence Day, we talked about what the state of Uganda has been, and we have over, I think, 60% people who are youth in Uganda. So there's a high rate of unemployment, there's very low income for people, there's low wages, there's barely any money for health insurance. People have children, they've accrued incredible amount of loans that they are not able to pay back for a variety of reasons that we've been covering over the last period, right? We're looking about how people do not want to retire, so getting into jobs is hard. There's inequality, there's income inequality in Uganda. There's a complete disparity between the rich and the poor. The unemployment rates are incredibly high because you can't get into work because the jobs are internally advertised. It's very hard to get access to some of these places. There's a lot of nepotism. That's a huge problem as well in the country. So we're finding that has really caused such a high rate of financial liability in the country, especially amongst the youth. So we're finding there's a lot of people that are taking up loans that they're not able to pay back. So we're seeing a lot of these loan apps that are completely targeted advertising on your YouTube page. I mean, if you click on YouTube right now, Mercy, you probably see an ad saying either it's Mara or one of these other apps, smart loan apps, quick loan apps, emergency loan apps that are targeting our everyday person. So even a person that wasn't thinking about taking a loan is thinking, maybe I should just take a loan because these adverts are in my face. They're completely targeted and they're putting our people in danger. So we're seeing that people are taking up loans and high interest on these loans is also high. If it's from the bank, right? So we're finding there's also the collateral, because remember we talked about this last week, 2 weeks ago, where we talked about the collateral, where the financial companies will not be required to use a national ID as a form of collateral to get out loans. So we're finding that people are scrambling, especially these loan apps are scrambling, right? So people have to look for some sort of collateral that they don't have to take out these loans. So we're finding that people are mismanaging the loans, they're mismanaging their debt. They're in incredibly high amount of debt and they're not able to manage it. So I don't know what your experience has been so far with that, Mercy, if you know anyone that's been struggling.
I mean, everyone, as long as you have responsibility, and you know, if it has been a family of one, or if it has been a family of two, and now it's getting to 3, 4, that means there is added responsibility. At the end of the day, you have to expand, increase your income. So people, you know, are like, you know what, let me just get a loan. Kids are going back to school. There is VD, there is this and this. So you'll be like, you know what, let me get a loan and pay in advance. But anyway, we have all sorts of forms of liabilities. We have loans, which most of you know. We have mortgages, we have student loans, we have leases. I mean, there is a lot of financial liabilities that you may want to know how you can manage. How can you manage if you have a debt? I mean, what are the laws that govern debt payment? Whether they first squeeze you, you know, we've been talking about money lenders. For them, they don't have mercy. They will just take everything you have. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, though, it was an agreement between the both of you. Including
your emotional stability and your peace of mind. Because that's the biggest thing. If you don't have your peace of mind and you're worried about paying back a loan, you're not able to be effective at work. You're working every day, but you think about these people calling you, they're calling your parents, they're calling your contacts. It's become so invasive, almost illegal. When you're taking up, because we've seen so many testimonials, and I think throughout the day we're going to find some people are going to talk about examples and testimonials of people who have taken out loans that are up the wazoo, that they're unable to pay back because these people have interrupted their peace, they've interrupted their jobs, they've interrupted their family members asking to pay back these loans. Some of these loans are asking for incredible amounts of interest and a short amount of period to pay. Imagine, Mercy, you're borrowing 100,000 and you're supposed to pay back 200,000 in 8 days.
Rates.
In 8 days, you're paying back over 50% interest in just 8 days. That's the interest that normally a normal company would pay back over a month or 3-month period. But you're paying that in over 8 days. It sounds illegal. And if you're not able to pay back in 8 days, they're invasive. They're in your inbox, they're in your family's inbox. But what makes it worse, once you've paid up that debt, they want to keep you in that cycle. It's like gambling. Because it's like a quick high. You know, people go through emergencies and you're waiting for your salary, but the salary is at the end of the month. Some people even not even paid in time, right? So now you take out this emergency loan, and once you pay it back, do you know what they do? They say, please, you haven't taken out a loan. If you take this, they lie. They know how to lie. This is from testimonials that we picked up throughout the day. People are saying, they ask you, no, but you take out a loan this time, we'll give you a longer period to what? To pay back. It's a lie.
And of course, you remember in the torture you went through to pay the debt, you know, and of course, I don't think anyone would want to. Mostly these individual, you know, maybe these apps that are coming. Do you know the number of apps that are coming up where people can borrow money?
Yes. It's incredibly high, and we're trying to find out what are some of these solutions that the young people especially, and we're also finding out adults who are struggling at work. They have so much debt that we can't do because they put on a pretty picture, they look nice, wear a suit and drive a car, but that car is barely being paid for. The fuel prices are incredibly high. The cost of living in Uganda is incredibly high as well. So people are also taking up these emergency loans. I know people within family as well. So it's become a very, very bad, it's almost like a pandemic. that has happened, taking out loans.
Yeah, I can really imagine someone has to pay mortgage, then you have a loan, then
you're paying off your car.
The lease, you're paying off your car. So definitely at the end of the day, you're in debt all your life.
You're in debt with the banks as well. Some people have tied it to their salaries. So you're constantly in debt. And it's a I'm not talking this is debt companies want you to stay down.
Yeah.
Debt companies get juice from you staying constantly borrowing from them because they make more interest from you. So these are some of the ways in which we're able to control the debt, and some according to the article, right, released by the Uganda budget. We're saying create a budget. A budget can help you track your income and expenses. This is important as you're getting your salary, even before you get your salary. Create that budget, write a tracker. There's what they call an expense list. There's so many applications. We live in an AI world now. There's so many applications where it can actually help track your budget and say, this is how much money I've made, this is how much money I've spent in a day, these are the normal things that I spend on a daily basis. So allow me to track my budget so that you don't go over your expenses, right? You don't go over your budget and say, but you know what, I can afford to have burgers every other day. No. If you don't have that money, you can't afford to have burgers, you might as well just take samosas until you're in a financial place to be able to afford it.
I think we should also consider the fact that we should get maybe loans. Okay, I'm saying loans because, I mean, this is for mortgage. People rarely do mortgages in Uganda. It's not yet a thing that much, but then for loans is what is common in Uganda. So if you know your salary is like 500,000, 400,000, you can get a loan of 200. When will you ever finish 200 million?
Exactly.
So you have to get a loan within your budget as well, so that at the end of the day, if you get salary, you have a portion you can take off. I mean, you don't have to pay a debt all your life.
You can't live outside of your means, right? If it's possible to completely be debt-free, but that's also hard in the economy we're living in. Unfortunately, definitely. We would say stop taking loans, but unfortunately, loans are helping a lot of people as well to come from really dark times. So it's about prioritizing your debts. What you said is important. It might be hard for people to stop taking loans, but be responsible about how you take out loans. Don't take a multitude of loans from multiple places that you can't pay back. It's being bad for people, guys. So we're saying here, prioritize your debts. Not all debts are created equal. Some debts, such as credit card debt, have high interest rates. So be careful of that and should be paid out first. So those debts that have high interest rates should be paid out first. So then we also look at the snowball effect. It's another form of being able to pay back your debt. The snowball effect is if you have a lot of debt, let's say you've accrued over 2 million plus in debt, you start off with the small loans, pay those off first as you work your way towards the bigger ones. Those that are quick loans that you can pay off. And the mistake most people make is they're working to pay the bigger loans off first, but the small loans are also picking up interest, so you're not being able to pay that off quickly. So I would always encourage everyone, pay off the small debts first, and then work your way towards the big one. That's what they call the snowball effect. It's something you can look up, guys. Financial management is out there on YouTube. You can take a course, you can take it. Those are things that are available to us, so we're able to understand how we're able to manage financial liabilities in this period, isn't it?
Well, we have a law regarding debt laws, and of course, this is governed by the Summary Recovery Act of 74, and of course, it says a creditor can recover debt by filing a complaint with the magistrate's court. And of course, the complaint must set out the particular of the claim, including the amount of debt, the name and address of the data, and the evidence supporting the claim. So for those that are trying to, for the money, actually, I think these are the right procedures you have to go to. If someone borrowed money, go to the right procedures, go to court, file a report, on them, instead of going and removing their iron sheets from their house, pulling off the door and getting out the couches. No.
But you know why people don't do that? But you know why people do not do that? It's because they're worried about the expenses of the court. Because they know that if you're going to file the magistrate, you're trying to get back 1 million shillings. You know that part of that money that you're going to put it towards lawyer fees. So they're already thinking this is going to be a lot. These guys are going to say that I was completely invasive with them, and they might even have a case, right? Because I've heard of a story, a person I worked with in another business, he would say, these people came and they were asking it was a person asking for rent. He's a landlord's son asking for rent. So as he was asking for rent, the person who is supposed to give the rent became aggressive. So as he became aggressive, there was a whole fight that happened. As they were fighting, this guy, because someone is punching, now the guy who's supposed to pay rent runs to the He runs to the police first and said, this person is trying to get rent, but he's trying to kill me. Can you believe he's trying to kill me just for rent? I told him to give me a bit of time and he's trying to kill me. So now the police were on the side of the person that owes money.
Yeah.
And yet the person who's supposed to collect money is thinking, you put me in a trap. So that's why I'm saying, exactly, you have to be very, very careful with that and how the measures that we put in place without just rushing to people and trying to kill them, injure them for your money. If they don't have the money, they don't, but we'll go through the proper procedures. And also I would encourage people to borrow only what you need. If you know that you can survive and stretch that money you have, don't get more just to feel rich.
Yeah.
Stretch
we've
what you
had
have.
incidences of people borrowing just, to please,
Their girlfriends, to please their friends.
Around,
Yes.
You borrow just to fit in.
And especially, Mercy, that we're coming into the Christmas period, we're in the holiday period. So people are trying to impress, they promise their girlfriends by the end of the month, end of the year, they're going to get their salary bonus. The salary bonus comes with so many strings attached, including side family members and side dishes. But they have not planned for that ahead, right? So you find yourself in a pinch, it's New Year's, Christmas you've spent, Boxing Day you've spent. This is the perfect time for us to manage our expenses right now, before we get to the Christmas period and then have to struggle.
There is a feeling you have when you're debt free, like on festivals, you're like, oh, it's you and your family and that's it.
Right.
No one is gonna wake up in the morning and like, hey.
It's true. I mean, the money that you're making in October, guys, the money that you're making in November, that should be a cautionary tale now, what we told you, that you can use that money and use it for December. So December money that comes in, use that for Jan and the other months. Don't use December money for December. Because that's a big problem. Because we have to plan early. We say we are predictors. The news is always a predictor here. With the rate at which the loan apps are coming up right now, guys, you're going to be tempted. People are going to be tempted on January 1st to look at these loan apps. So it's up to you now to look ahead and forecast. This is like a foreshadowing of what could happen.
By the way, it starts with the little credit on your mobile phone. You're like, oh, let me borrow 200 shillings. From 200 shillings, you keep on. So that's how it starts.
The Beraco bill that you've not paid for, you keep avoiding it. You're like, no, don't send me to have a kabanja. Don't send this, have a kabanja. Clear that debt off because it does catch up and it does catch interest.
Anyway, that is it. Today we're having discussions on how to manage financial liabilities. I know most of you have testimonies. Some of you have been victims, At some point you found your luggage out because you couldn't pay. Anyway, let's get into what is happening into the press. Happening in the Daily Monitor, this is okay. This, I don't know. It could be a good idea, or maybe not. For me, it's really a bad idea. But anyway, girls to get... could be a good idea, but to avoid the pregnancies. Girls to get birth control from age 15 in new plan. So
that's interesting.
People are going to be reckless now.
I think the reason why, but we also have to consider how reckless have they been so far.
They have been, of course. Do you know the number of girls that got pregnant during COVID? So very many. But then, of course, with birth control, they'll mess up.
It almost gives them an excuse to almost have sex. Of course, in Uganda we're known for teaching abstinence, right, in schools. But maybe this might be a viable option for people who are actually sexually active, because by 15, 13 people are actually they're sexually active amongst themselves. I was at the Oma Showground yesterday and I saw so many kids holding hands and I'm like, but why are you holding hand, girlfriend and boyfriend? That means they probably would do something. So yes, there might be a viable option, right?
Oh my goodness.
So we're also seeing in the international news at New Vision, oil prices soar as Hamas attack on Israel sparks war. That's a very sensitive conversation that we're going to continue having throughout the day. You can check that out. But of course, the oil prices have now soared as a result of the attack on Israel.
And of course, here still in this very topic of girls getting birth control, a plan by the Ministry of Health to roll out the use of birth control methods among girls aged 15 and 24 who are out of school has stirred controversy over the rationale and attracted questions on if sex is now, acceptable below the age of 18. Like you said. Really.
Not that it's acceptable, but it's happening.
No, you see, by the way, I feel like before this happened, you had it in mind the moment you do this, there are consequences, and you had to face the consequences.
Yes.
I believe they're going to be reckless. They're going to be like, after all, I can take this, and I'm going to be fine.
It's true, because we're trying to avoid teenage pregnancies. I think one thing we've been so good at, remember Uganda was at one time at the helm of the AIDS pandemic.
Yeah.
We were one of the people that were struggling the most. We have to consider it's not just pregnancy with unwanted sex, unprotected sex, guys. It's not just pregnancy that's a problem. I mean, most people are more afraid of pregnancy than they're afraid of STDs.
Oh my goodness.
They're more afraid of HIV and AIDS.
Oh my
In the 90s, we were at the top in HIV crisis, but because we continued the fight against the AIDS pandemic, we fought against it, and we talked about abstinence a lot. I think that's where we're able to see a huge change. So I don't know if this conversation is going to be a productive one regarding
It is
sexual
going to be,
health.
because I believe in this era we have kids that are sexually very, very active. And of course, due to the things they watch, the internet is out there and they watch.
I mean, there's
things,
shows like teenage,
pop-ups,
there's
pop-ups.
shows like teen pregnancy, and they're highlighting these have become celebrities. Teen moms. Yes, teen mom is the show.
Yeah.
So we're also seeing here in the New Vision, Cabinet okays law to regulate real estate dealers. So we're seeing Emmanuel Balaba, a practicing physical planner, said the poorly regulated real estate sector has further contributed to informal settlements everywhere. So real estate dealers buy land and subdivide it in ways that accommodate people's immediate needs without considering the prevailing physical planning subdivision requisites. You can easily find someone creating an estate with plots as small as 30 by 30 square feet. He said, Balaba said the relevant planning authorities are either helpless or corrupt. That's an interesting conversation. So we're making almost like these real estate conversations are becoming informal. People are just doing what they have to do without it being properly on paper.
Well, of course, here, Mabira, a forest of the throes, in the throes of extinction. Like you are saying, Mabira is, people are we no longer see the congested trees. We can now, as you're passing, you can see.
It's interesting. We had this conversation regarding climate change, and I said about a month ago, I said that you can now look at Maribor, you can literally see through it. Climate change is affecting us already because of what our own doing, deforestation, and we're not doing enough afforestation. So we have to be careful with that. That's a very important point, Mercy, especially regarding the conversation around climate
well,
change.
I'm seeing here genetically modified mosquitoes will be ready for 2033.
And what's the purpose of this genetically modified mosquitoes?
Well, let's get into this. Could be helpful, actually. The Uganda Virus Research Institute has announced that the genetically modified mosquitoes will be ready within a decade. Now, the gene-drive mosquitoes are among the anti-malarial strategies the government under the Africa Target Malaria Project has embarked on. Since 2016 to reduce the number of malaria deaths in the country. So
okay, so it's going to be like an anti-malaria thing. It's part of the anti-malaria conversation. But that's interesting. So we're seeing here, of course, Uganda leads in aviation safety audit in the region. So very quickly, we're seeing here that Uganda's aviation sector has scored highly in the region in the Universal Safety Oversight Audit Program conducted by the International Civil Aviation Organization.
Well, right about now we are at Fairway Hotel, the hotel that has been, it has been interesting for way long.
Yes.
Way long. Of course, being a Tuesday, and instead I didn't see any traffic policeman yesterday, so today is a busy day. Yeah.
Today's a crazy day because as I was coming, I was so
busy.
frustrated because I came onto the road thinking, it's going to be free like it was yesterday, and I completely lost my mind, and I realized, oh my God, yesterday was a public holiday, so everyone is going to rush to do their reports that they're supposed to hand in yesterday. They're all going to rush to hand in those reports to work. So listen, it's not even 8 yet, but the roads are really cramped. You're seeing that's the Fairway area that bleeds into the Acacia Avenue area. Other than also there's a road that goes up to Nakasero area. So people that are coming from Mulago, people that are bleeding in from Mulago area, Mwandegea, they're going to be faced with a bit of jam, and it's only what time? It's only 7:24, and we're seeing this much jam. So we have to be, people that are moving on the streets, just know that today you're going to run into jam if you're using that route.
So working, and of course the fact that it rained earlier in the morning.
Yes.
People are like, I think let me just relax.
And it rained at 5:11 in the morning. As soon as it rained, I put my head right back to sleep. I'm thinking, it's rain, I better stop because I have to be on air at 7 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah. But anyway, those that are coming in from Mulago, those that are coming in from Wandegea, those that are coming in from that side of Nansa I say all that aside, just know, Bambi, there is traffic. There is traffic either where they're coming from Garden City or they're coming from Access Road.
Meanwhile, this jam looks like it's not going to stop anytime soon. It looks like it's going to increase till like 9 a.m.
Yeah.
So if you're planning to move at 9, I would rather move now and endure it so you're at office by 9.
Why would someone start moving at 9?
No, because people are thinking it's going to have slowed down. That's the mindset people have. Is everyone is rushing to work by 8, that by 9 it's slowed down. Especially for people whose jobs basically they can start at 9. There are those jobs have a 9 to 5, not like us who have a 7 to to 5.
But it's okay. It's actually, I love the waking, earlier waking.
No, I
it
love
so
it because I don't have to worry about jam. That's why today I was so frustrated. Like, why put my roads in this morning? This morning I never have to worry about people, but today I did because I realized now everyone is rushing to finish reports.
Oh yeah. So that is the road that goes to all the way to Wandegea, then Mulago. Well, this is Fairway Road. As you can see, not much of the cars use that route because the number of ministries that's
right, and some offices in Nakasero Road, right?
Nakasero.
So that's the area up there. You stand either there's kids DSTV.
But you see, by the way, the jam in the evening is insane.
Right.
It's insane. Cars all over.
From this road, it's actually quite insane because they're coming. They're all leading into
it's
the
usually
main
a shortcut
road.
like people use, but here all the vehicles are fully packed in the evening. In the evening hours. Oh my goodness, I wish we could have traffic in the evening because it's always insane.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredibly high at that point.
Where are people?
So as we're zooming out a little bit, we're trying to see as that road from Fairway going up to Nakasero is relatively free. So if you're planning to use that shortcut to go through Nakasero, then head to Wandegea, that might be your best bet. But if you want to use the main road going through Mulago, then turning to Wandegea, you're going to struggle with jam. So if you're turning through Fairway area all the way up, then you go to Serena Chigo area, Serena Kampala. That area is relatively free right now. So if you're planning to use a shortcut to get to Wandegea, much faster, that would be the best way to use, I believe.
Oh yeah. But have you noticed that people use bicycles lately?
I noticed. I mean, I had an order this weekend from Glovo, and the guy arrived with a bicycle.
I would definitely have a bicycle.
He arrived with a bicycle. I was like, that is interesting. Who arrives with a bicycle?
It's so risky in Kampala.
In this Kampala.
They're fidgeting with border people, and you're like, oh my goodness.
Right. You're fighting with border people as well as cars. Remember, border guys in Uganda think they're cars. Borders believe they're cars. They never move to the side. They're always moving directly in front or behind the car. I'm like, move to the side of the car. These guys can knock you. And they're like, no.
And they have this habit of walking, riding in the walkways.
Yeah.
You are comfortably walking. People have earphones on. They have, and they can knock you.
Exactly. It's
Who
crazy.
is in wrong at the end of the day? They are in wrong.
And also the general people that walk. I mean, we talked about that area. What's that area at Clock Tower? People will walk like they own the roads. So our border people as well as the cyclists, we have to do better at knowing our lane, literally. Know our lane. This is going to help curb the jam.
Well, it's 28 minutes past 7 a.m. Hoping, like you see, people are already starting their day, almost there to work and kickstart their day. Anyway, don't forget that these conversations are proudly powered by Zabo. So if you want to invest in government bonds and securities, as Zabo says, no need for hustle. Whether you have a smartphone, whether you have a button phone, Zabo says, your money is your future. So you can reach out to them if you dial *292#. And that is the USSD code. You can follow the prompts, you can learn about the products, or you can go straight to the bonds. But investment is as low as 15,000 Ugandan shillings. 15,000 or more is when you can invest with Zabo. Today being a Tuesday, Zabo is fully operational just at 8:15 a.m. Please type in that USSD code and you see them reaching out to you till 3:15 p.m. when their doors are going to be locked, except for public holidays and weekend. Zabo is fully operational, and of course they are powered by All Tax East Africa, telling you to do something new. It's a new month of October. Well, of course we go for a short breather and warm ourselves up because it's a bit chill today, having light showers of rain. Anyway, we shall be right back.